and reach for the stars, Virgo. I'm Bernadette, and I'm here with your Virgo tarot reading for February 2021. Oh, thank goodness. You perfectionists have the most beautiful, beautiful spirit animal that's shown for you today. It's the pigeon. Isn't that the sweetest picture? She's cuddling her little baby. They're in deep relationship, and that is everything that has to do with your tarot reading for this February. All right, so if we take a look at kind of what's going on in the planets, maybe first starting with Virgos, you guys have you have such a gift for analysis and detail. Pigeon is going to help you take more of a bird's eye view of those things so you can get that focus balanced, that almost an OCD, meticulous, perfectionist type double A. I've got to get it right. I've got to get it right. It's got to be perfect. It's got to be perfect. It's going to help you temper that by allowing you to see the larger picture. Bird symbolism and meaning is all about because they fly, because they are at greater, they can go to greater heights than man can physically. When they look down, they can see the bigger picture. And as a messenger, which pigeons have been used for, unfortunately, for centuries and centuries, pigeon symbolism does have a lot to do with being the messenger between the heavens and the earth, just from kingdom to kingdom, house to house, and also from the spiritual world, being able to bring messages from the other side. It's going to help you, Virgo, get the word out and make sure that others are really going to hear your important communication, because sometimes you can feel like, you're talking to people and you're like, the lights are on, but nobody's home. And so you always want to delve deeper and get more pointed and get your point across more. You won't necessarily have to do that this month. Now, that's going to be no easy task for you to kind of just trust that you're going to be heard. Let me just put it that way, that you're going to be heard, and trusting in that, moving forward with that. That's not going to be an easy task because your ruling planet Mercury is retrograde until the 20th. So even with your best intentions, when it comes to communication, that may be offset, misunderstood, a little bit confusing for other people. But because Pigeon is in the mother and babies part of the expansion packs of the Animal Tarot and Oracle deck, that's a really beautiful relationship. And that's going to help you build the relationships that you want and carefully get your message across without creating any kind of chaos or confusion, right? So the first 2 weeks of February are likely going to be exceptionally intense for you. That's because the powerful lineup of planets in Aquarius brings friction to your ideas, your plans. And that's just further amplified by the already erratic and disruptive energy of Mercury retrograde, right? So by the 15th, Mercury is sandwiched right in between Jupiter and Saturn, and every proverbial green light that you receive to move forward, you may move forward and then you're like, I got to put on the brakes because there's a red light or there's a detour sign. And you're like, I'm going, I'm stopping. I'm going, I'm stopping. And that frustrates you to no end because that's not the perfect journey. The perfect journey is where everything flows well. There are no interruptions and it's perfect, right? Okay. You can be, you are patient, but you do understand how important planning and details are. So that lets you be patient. But this is going to test even that patience. So just, kind of step back into pigeon energy. They're the gentlest, sweetest birds. And remember that whole, maybe you're the mother at this point and the people that you're working with are the children, and you've got to be the nurturer. You've got to be the one that kind of hugs everybody and says, it's going to be okay. Listen, because you are that perfectionist, the upside to that, well, there are many upsides to that, but one of them is that when one tiny piece of a system isn't functioning, that's going to break the entire machine down at some point, and you always know how to fix things. But this won't be a matter of taking out the manual and repairing a few loose widgets. Instead, this is going to be like, beep, 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 we're in emergency mode, right? It's sudden, it's unexpected, it's disruptive, it's causing tumultuous changes, and that's impacting the larger community around you. So you're going to have to stop on a dime and pivot, stop on a dime and pivot. And you don't really like that. You don't like making last minute decisions. You like everything, all the planning, all the details that lead up to that. And the way you normally deal with those kind of challenges is to secure your home base and take control of everything that you can, right? Routines, schedules, cleaning, work and organizing. Okay, you can do that, but that's not going to accomplish a whole lot, and it's just going to frustrate you. So maybe just help yourself do what birds do, which is catch air. So call on bird energy and bird medicine to help you just kind of catch the currents and feel comfortable flowing with the currents, even if the currents bump you around a bit. Birds are okay with that. They very easily glide to a different current where it's more fluid, more smoother, right? And that's all you've got to do. Now, flexibility, as we talked about, is not your strong suit, but rather than trying to use the rules of the past to make sense of the present, maybe see yourself repeating like a mantra, there's no such thing as perfection, because there really isn't. What is perfect to you today may not look perfect to you tomorrow or feel perfect or be perfect. So maybe you can just kind of adopt that as your mantra. There's no such thing as perfect. There's no such thing as perfect. Now, the really, really good news is that around the 20th, that tension is going to break. That anxiety, those experiences, that's going to break some. And you're going to be in a much more relaxed place. And that's in part because Mercury is going direct. But also by the 25th, the cluster of planets in Aquarius are going to be broken up as the Sun and Venus will be in Pisces, offering a safe landing and an emotional release from all that built-up tension of the prior weeks. And, listen, you tell me about yourself, Virgo. You'll hold things inside until you go nuclear, right? Don't do that. Start letting it out a little bit at a time this month, or you really will find yourself super combustible from the middle, almost towards the end of the month, right? Okay. So on the 27th, the full moon is in your sign of Virgo, and that can bring, you'll look at something and maybe for the first time ever, look at something and go, man, I did a good job. And hopefully that's true. And you'll, take some time to reward yourself, because not only did you do a great job, but you made it through the chaos and the intensity of the month to be able to do that. You didn't allow those things that usually spin you to spin you too far. You spun a little bit, but then you were able to come back from that. Now, the moon in Virgo is part of an earth trine. So at the very, very end of the month, that can bring success in career, work, finances. And again, all of those successes are predicated on the previous letting go you've done, being so attached to every single little detail of, I gotta get it perfect, get it right. And, you're going to face fears. You're going to make a major breakthrough, major change to those areas of your life, the career, the work, the finances. And let's say that one of them was a dramatic transformation, or you might think of it as a loss. Okay, great. That was then, this is now. And one day you're going to be very, very thankful that happened. So I hope that was helpful. I just love marrying the spirit animals with the actual birth totems that we have, because the insights that you can get, Virgo, which, listen, okay, so I was just told to tell you guys this. So I'm channeling the whole time I'm doing this. I'm speaking to spirit. You may very well want to look this month, Virgo, you may very well want to look into astrology for yourself, to learn it, not even to become a professional astrologer, although you could, but there are so many details and so much planning that goes into that. That would really, really appeal to your nature. So pick up your copy of the Arcanimal Tarot and Oracle deck, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and Virgo, you just keep reaching for the stars.